Hi traders, in order to pick our way through these markets and really get our heads around the strengths and weaknesses as we plan for the week ahead, let's just look at the market proxies, leading indicators initially. If we start off with this dollar index on the daily, we can see there's a potential for these little hammer-like bars to come off the 50% and move back up to the upside. But Thursday and Friday we sold off and came back down to the fib zone. Okay, this is looking like a potential head and shoulders to me. Shoulder, head, shoulder. So that means the neckline is down here. So if we start to break down below this neckline, this fib level, then this dollar index is coming right back down to these lows again. Look at the 10-year notes. Potential distribution pattern. We keep hitting resistance. This is a key safe haven, 10-year treasuries, and they're hitting resistance and at the moment selling off. However, we need to be on our guard if they close above this 129. But meantime, potentially drifting lower and not going anywhere. If we now look at banking index, so we see strength. So the transport index, we see great strength. So all you oil traders out there, make note of that one, because we'll come back to that in a minute. This is the Reuters Jefferies CRB commodity index, hammer and close above, so this is showing strength. And finally, this is the financial fund, the XLF, showing strength. So the underlying mood of this market is one of the bulls. The bulls seem to have the upper hand at the moment. Obviously it's a crucial weekend with the Euro Summit, and we are seeing at the moment nothing but strength. So let's now delve into some of these charts in more detail. Right, the Dow, huge move to the upside. There's resistance. We've looked as if we were hesitating here. A little sort of hammer-like bar on Thursday, and whoosh, strong move up. All the lows of ball broke out very, very early on in the very early part of the US sessions. The US traders were getting to their desks and has not looked back. Right, if we get a pullback to 11,600, for here the support is 11,700, then this is a buy. Obviously 11,700 is quite high. 11,600 will be a retest of this trend line. So I'm trying to aim for a pullback to 11,600. Okay, major support there. In fact, 11,630 is a good area to get into because of those highs in September. Okay, this, to me, this looks as if we're going right back to 12,500. Okay, so the proxies, the leading indicators, are all suggesting great strength. We've had a lot of positive data over the last 2-3 weeks in the US, and this is showing through in the way in which the bulls are able to hold this up. Okay, so 11,600 is buy zone in the Dow. Here's the oil. Actually, let's get the current contract up. This to me is a hammer-like bar on Thursday, close above on Friday. This is a very bullish bar. Given that transport index, given the Dow strength, close just under the trend line, just. But I think we're getting ready to pop up. If we pop up, I think we're likely to come in, likely to get to around about the 95 mark as the next stop. Okay, so the pullback area Well, I would just take a break of 87.40 with a stop down there at 84, just below 84, to see if we can get right up to 95 plus. I think one of the most fascinating charts out there at the moment is this cotton. This cotton down here at 97. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, back in April in fact, where cotton was 170. I think that this is a potential triple bottom with a stopping bar, and if we break above 100, I think we're going to get up to 115 pretty quick, and 114 very quickly as well. Let's look at the fibs. Yeah, so 135 is the 50%, and 143 is the top of the fibs play zone. I think that stopping bar will get bought with a weakness in the dollar and the strength in the markets. I think this cotton could go far. This is coffee. I think coffee can come back to 241 and get back to 290 plus. Rough rice, that looks as if that could break out as well. The weakness in the dollar is potentially going to lead to a breakup of these commodities. That commodity index is very strong. That's in apex. The rough rice could break out. So if you get a break of 16.6, I would expect that to get up to 18 plus. Sugar, weak. Keep an eye on it. I'll keep a track on that and see if that's got potential. Right, talking of commodities, let's stay on and look at now at the metals. So stay on the subject of commodities and look at this one. That's not telling us anything, so let's get rid of that. Put the fibs on that. So what major resistance is 33.7. That's a new low that close above. That to me is a complete rejection of that low. If you get a pullback to 31 or 30.87, I think we can get back to that 33 area. That 30 has held really well. If you take it, you just get your stop at 29.7. Try and keep your stop out of trouble to see if this can be a double bottom and get right back up to these highs. Gold daily, that's a hammer on Thursday, close above on Friday. I think this gold is getting ready to go. That support down there is looking good. If you buy a break of 1645, your stop needs to be just under 1605, ideally under 1600, to see if we can break out. I think in the coming days and weeks we could see this breaking above this. The dollar's weak. I think it's time. Gold's finished down here. I think gold will start to eke its way up. Quick look at the grains. Ooh, bit of a star on the corn. I think the beans, okay, a lower close on the beans, so grains are weak, and the wheat is very weak indeed. But if we look at that wheat, we've closed just narrowly above the trend line here. I think that wheat is getting ready to come up. That's the resistance area there at 1660. We close above 1660, we're getting back to $8. I think that wheat can do it. I think this soybean bar is a stopping bar. I think if we start to close above 12.25, I think this will start to break out and move up pretty quick. A trend line running right across there. So we did close above it and then sell off. But if you put the fibs on this last move, yeah, we're just back in the 50. We tested the bottom of the fib zone. We're just hanging around the 50% zone. So if we start to break out from 12.28, I believe we can break through that resistance. I really like this Aussie US dollar. We're closed above the trend line now, so we're going to pull back to 103.16. I think we can get back up to these levels here. The initial entry was the hammer. Lovely bull flag here. This is a break of a trend line. Once you break the trend lines, I would get a pullback and just hold it. Just sit in it. Keep your stop down here and sit in it and see if you can climb. But Aussie yen is a very, very good leading indicator with the markets. And we closed above the trend line here, pulled right back, closed above the trend line again. So Aussie yen is the carry trade. Doesn't matter if you don't understand what a carry trade is. But this is a major trend line, huge trend line. So for this Aussie yen to close above here is very, very bullish. You could even trade that from 78.8 to see if we can get back up to these levels up here. Right, of course, one of the most important forex pairs at the moment is, of course, the euro versus the dollar. That has just closed above a trend line, just like the Aussie US. So a pullback to 138.36 is your entry. Your initial target is 140, but if we can break 140, then expect to get back to these highs. I think this is a very significant chart as well. US dollar Swissy broken down below this major support here. We're going to pull back to 88.85. I think we could tumble quite hard. If you look at the fibs, I think we could at least come down to 84.60 on that one. So this is confirmation for me of dollar weakness and the appetite for risk back in the markets. The fact this US dollar CAD keeps selling close to 50%. I wouldn't trade it. I just want to show you that as an indicator. To me, this is a good bull flag here in the pound CAD. And look how this we've got a stopping bar on the fib zone. I think this could break back up. I think if that US dollar CAD, sorry, pound CAD can break above that trend line, I think we can get back up to the highs. Pound yen, not bad. Pound Swissy, sideways. Pound New Zealand, sideways. Pound US, huge move as predicted last weekend. Right, where's the pullback area? Let's find out where the pullback area is. Right, we've hit 50%. We've hit right on the 50%. I think the pullback area is here. If we can get 58.50, that's a buy to get to 61. See, 160 is going to be a major number, and we're very, very close to it now. But if we can get a pullback way back down there, I'm not even sure we're going to get that far. You may find we don't get much lower than 58.70. But huge support down there at 58.50 if we get down there for a move back up. Let's look at the weekly on this one. I think we could, that's a bit of a hangman there, we could come all the way down to 57.45 there. 158 is the bottom of the fib zone. The fact we've stopped at 50%, that's a bit of a hangman. We may get a little deeper pullback than that. But it looks as if we could be going back to 165. What else can we tell from this? Okay, so we've got that major resistance, major trend line resistance, had 2 touches already. This could be 3 and through. So to get back to that area there, we're looking at 163.50 or 163.40. And a breakthrough of that area there would get us back to 170. I think we're heading back for 170. So a good way to do this is to get a pullback to 158.50, hold your stop below the weekly bar, and then wait for 170. Meanwhile, let's look at some of the bellwether stocks. Now this Apple had a great week previous week, right up to 422. But we're currently down to support at 393. I think we may retest that hammer. I think we'll retest 380. If we retest 380, that is a buy zone. These hammers, I find from experience, get retested. So if we do get a retest of 380, that is a buy on Apple. Google, that's getting ready to break out. If that breaks above 600, that could go to new highs. Let's look at Baidu. Baidu's like Apple. Yeah, quite a deep retrace there. So look at the fibs. Below the fib zone. Keep an eye on that one. These are weekly charts, by the way. And let us look at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, I've been calling this one along for a couple of weeks now. I think Goldman's is on the way up, and so we're just coming into the fib zone. Close above this in the coming week. Close above 103.50. We're going to 120 on Goldman's, but I would hold out. I would try and buy a pullback to this one to 100. And just sit in it. Your stop is going to have to be 93. Sit in it for 137, 140 area. Okay, hope that helps. I will be resuming the stock scans. I have been so busy, etc. I have let that drift. I will be resuming the stock scans. Email me if you want more information on that. And Traders Roundtable is going to be back to basics again. I'm going to do a session on back to basics. These are very, very bullish markets, so just buy the lows. Find the lows in your chart. For example, on the Dow, let's look at the Dow on the hourly, if you're a day trader. So 660 is the area to get back in if you're a day trader. That's around about 100 point pullback on this. If we see 660 in during Monday's session, then that is a buy. On the euro, you can see, I mean, look how this, there's all the resistance in the Dow. Once that popped up through resistance, that just did not look back. We've got a pullback there. It closes above, engulfs all this action here, pulls back to that bar and just runs. On the euro, again, look, it pulls back to this support here, 138.26, and just runs. Okay, we did meet resistance and sell off slightly, but if you see any kind of pullback to 138.68 on the euro, I said 38.30 30 on previously, but you may want to raise your entry level for a swing trade if you're swing trading it to 38.70. Okay, hope that helps. Back to basics on Traders Roundtable on Monday, so please join us if you remember. If not, find out more details from me by email, and enjoy what's left of your weekend.